Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? I am Cody from Big Beaver Cards. There is no video playing, that's true. There is no video playing and no Anthony here. So, little bit of a change of pace, somewhat of a conversation. If you're here just you like box break videos, that's cool. We've got a catalog of those. Check those out. But for right now, today on this, I guess it's just audio, right? We're going to have a small little conversation on the market of sports cards or trading cards, whatever you'd like to call it, because we're a comic store as well, and we deal in Marvel cards and D's, so we deal in all this kind of stuff. But the sentiment in the market, and this isn't to do with price fluctuations recently or anything like that. This is more to do with two different parts that kind of converge, and then we have issues that arise, and they're natural issues, I feel like. So we have the speculating side of people trying to make some money. Totally understandable. Sports cards or trading cards are not just a hobby. They are a diversification of assets as far as I'm concerned. That's my opinion. This is not any type of financial advice. You ain't getting that here from me. But speculation is one major facet of things. And on the other end, when you have money to be made, there are margins involved. On the other end, you are always going to have these gurus or people who claim to know it all. People who claim to be able to show you how to 10x your money, or they've done this and the historical trend, and they're going to show you how to buy low, sell high, all the normal jazz that you see. So that how do these two things come together? And what are we seeing in the market right now? Well, the two things are naturally parallels of each other. Where there's money to be made, there's hustlers involved. And there's hustlers with integrity, people who are legitimately making somewhat of a margin off of their hard work and forecasting or foresight or luck or whatever it happens to be. And then there's the people on the other side, which are willing to, whether it's burn accounts or burn customers, lie, cheat, steal, the whole Eddie Guerrero gimmick, you know what I mean? And we're not okay with that, but when margins are involved, that brings out people on all sides. Now, why is it an issue here? Because we do see it. If you're following the sports card market, especially in the last couple of weeks, it seems like because prices have gone down recently, that we're starting to see a lot of people now pointing fingers at others that have been giving advice, that have been maybe proclaiming that this should be done by purchasers or that should be done by investors. And people have mixed feelings at best at the moment about some of these people in the community. No names. I don't have a personal opinion. I'm just telling you the way I feel. So speculating is always going to be risky. It doesn't make a difference. You could be buying stuff out of the S&P 500, out of the Dow 30. It doesn't make a difference. If you're speculating, you'd be speculating on an index fund and find yourself out on your ass a little bit over the course of the short term. Because index funds, obviously, historically, they pay off traditionally when we're talking about the S&P 500. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about something that's much more fringe. When you're investing in sports cards, you're investing in a future that is so undecided. You might as well be playing in the penny stocks. You might as well be in that fringe crypto space. And the real issue comes in with the speculation and with the inherent risk. There comes a lack of regulation in the marketplace. Now, the SEC is watching what's going on in the stock market, in the bond market. There's people managing currency trading, commodities trading, options trading. This stuff is being watched. And there's still con artists in there trying to get over on people at all times. But in this market, comic books, sports cards, the grading aspect of things, I'm not calling into question grading. I'm just saying that there are all these facets that come into play with your speculation that are totally unregulated. People can tell you anything they want. They could tell you the sky is falling, the sky is purple. They could tell you to purchase this. There is no repercussion. There's no license that they can get a strike against, that there's no errors and omissions insurance for when they haven't done their proper due diligence on the person they're giving financial advice to. These markets are the Wild West. They're unregulated. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think anything is wrong with unregulated markets. We, as a community, keep the regulation because we make sure that our peers aren't being douchebags. That's super important to me, and I think that's really important to people across the community, and I think that's why you are seeing now, as prices have started to come down especially the second half of 2021, you're now starting to see people point fingers at proposed gurus, people who claim to have a lot more answers than maybe they did, but that's not their fault. What you need to understand is there are swindlers everywhere. They might be at your local card store trying to pump you to buy something that they know they're not able to move. You don't know. Your job in an unregulated market like this, if you want to try to speculate and potentially, whether it's in the short term or the long, make money on those margins, then you are going to have to do your own due diligence. That means not listening to other people. That you can listen, it can give you ideas, you can listen to me, but I'm not telling you my advice is the advice. My advice stops at do your due diligence, and after that it goes, you yourself go out and don't watch videos on things that co-sign what you want to hear. Don't go watch videos that begrudge the opinions that you hold as well. What you need to do is you need to go do actual research on the numbers, and you need to follow your inherent gut instinct. That's going to be the way that you at the end of the day will at least be able to sleep comfortably and not say, I was hustled. These guys came in and they sold me a bill of goods. It was a farce. There was no Brooklyn Bridge for sales BS, right? You don't want to be that guy. So don't be a sucker. Let's start right from the beginning. Why would you believe some guru goofy on the internet? Who cares? Do you know that historical results are not indicative of the future, right? They tell a financial advisor that on their very first day. You learn to repeat this phrase to your customers that historical results are not indicative of the future, because they're not. So there's nothing some guy previous to you knows about the future that you potentially couldn't get right as well. There's no secret formula. There's no program you need to buy. There is no credo you need to follow. There is none of that. There's you doing your due diligence and allowing your own intuition to help you try to find a way. Let's face facts. Businesses, whatever size, it doesn't make a difference, fail all the time. You just may hit a string of bad luck. You may just be shit at speculating. It may be a basket of goods. But I hear my cat meowing outside. But whatever it is, if you did your own due diligence, if you followed your plan the way you laid it out and didn't let someone try to manipulate or hear the cat, try to move you in a certain direction, you're at least going to be able to sleep at night. That's what this is about, because tomorrow you're probably still an entrepreneur in your mind. You're going to want to pick yourself up from, even if it's a humbling defeat, and start again. But if you are someone who's just following someone else all the time, and you don't actually know that you can blaze your own trail, whether you fall down and mess up or whether you do well right off a jump street, of course you're going to want to point fingers. It's going to be so easy to point that finger because you didn't do the work. Stop listening to other people. Trust yourself. Trust the work. I know the work takes time. I know it's not fun. I know it's much easier to just listen to somebody talk and say, I'm going to take their word for it. Don't do it. Speculating in an unregulated market is not child's play. You can lose your bag playing around with this. My best advice that I could give you is to sharpen your sword. Don't listen to some other goofy who tells you his sword is sharp and just play his hand. Don't do that. Play your hand. That's the best bet. I'm Cody from Big Beaver Cards. Little change of pace. I'm going to go tend to my meowing cat for right now. But I love you guys, man. Remember to subscribe and come back for more box breaks. We're always not going to just talk about the market and all that kind of stuff. But occasionally, these topics come up and I feel like they need to be addressed. This one felt like an important one to me because I come from a finance background. And I see what's going on in a lot of unregulated markets, not just the memorabilia markets right now. And I feel like, hey, if I can motivate some people to rely on themselves and build their own systems and trust their own instincts instead of putting their trust into some purported guru, not saying the guys don't have good ideas, you're going to feel a lot better at night about the decisions you make. I'm Cody, like I said, subscribe and stay cool.